Everybody says DeepSeek V4 is the model that finally beats the frontier labs on price without giving up the quality. I spent weeks trying to prove them wrong. DeepSeek V4 claims it's cheap, local-ready, and reliable enough for real work. So does it actually deliver? Or is the hype running ahead of the data? One of the biggest problems I run into when using AI agents is turning their output into YouTube content I can actually use to market my product. That's why this video is sponsored by Subscriber, a tool that helps business owners connect their AI agents to YouTube and market their products without spending 10 hours every week creating content. You can connect Claude or ChatGPT directly to Subscriber. It then analyzes your business, website, and YouTube channel to help you create SEO-optimized video ideas, scripts, thumbnails, and even complete videos that actually match your brand. What I like most is that every week, Subscriber gives me a list of high-potential video ideas I can immediately execute, and it can even help edit videos for me, with or without my face, including videos like the one you're watching right now. It's easy to get started, and you can try Subscriber for free using the link in the description below. Now back to the video. Claim 1. DeepSeek V4 is 28 times cheaper than Claude Opus 4.8. Run 1 million output tokens through Opus 4.8, and you're looking at a 25 bill. And if that's your daily volume, those costs stack up fast. So the question is whether a cheaper model can actually hold up on the same workload. I looked at the output token pricing side by side, and the gap is real. At the promo rate, DeepSeek V4 Pro comes in at 0.87 per million output tokens versus $25 for Opus 4.8, which is 28.7 times cheaper. And even at standard rates, it's still 7 to 9 times cheaper. Plus V4 Pro actually leads on live code bench at 93.5% versus 88.8%. Charge dismissed. DeepSeek V4 Pro is genuinely 28.7 times cheaper at promo rates, and it actually leads on live code bench, so you're getting less cost without losing ground on every metric. That's 1-for-1 on claims so far. I only caught that promo to standard pricing trap because I've been living inside these models long enough to know the sticker price is never the whole story. Drop a comment if the promo rate bait and switch has caught you off guard too. Claim 2. DeepSeek V4 runs locally on a 24GB VRAM card. You buy into this, you build your whole pipeline on-prem to keep data private, and then on day one, the model simply won't load. A 24GB card is what most high-end consumer setups actually have, so if the claim is wrong, a lot of people are going to feel that immediately. I ran the numbers twice to make sure I was reading them right. Even heavily quantized, DeepSeek V4 Flash needs around 33GB of VRAM, and the full weights need roughly 170GB. So a single 24GB card can't hold it without serious CPU offload that tanks your speed, and you're looking at dual RTX 4090s or a pro-grade GPU just to get the quantized version running. This charge sticks. The 24GB local claim is misleading because the minimum viable setup is dual 4090s or a pro GPU, which is a very different cost conversation than a single consumer card. And that drops us to 1-for-2 on claims with the local angle, being a real disappointment for anyone who bought in on that promise. Claim 3. DeepSeek V4 is near frontier quality at 2 to 3% of the cost. You're a developer shipping a production pipeline on a tight budget. You swap in V4 Pro expecting frontier level results. And if the quality gap is real on complex tasks, your pipeline ships broken code and you don't find out until a client does. What got me is how split the data is. On Human Evil and MBPP+, DeepSeek V4 Pro scores 96.4% and 91.1%, which is genuinely near frontier for raw generation. But flip to SWE Bench Verified, which tests real agentic coding, and it drops to 80.6% versus Opus 4.7's 87.6%, a 7-point gap that matters when you're running autonomous tasks. This one partially sticks, and that's the honest call. DeepSeek V4 Pro is near frontier on code generation, but clearly behind on agentic coding, so the claim is true in some contexts and false in others, which leaves us at 1 clean pass, 1 partial, and 1 miss after 3 claims. So the price is real and the raw generation numbers look good, but we haven't touched the 2 claims that could completely change whether you'd actually trust this model in a live pipeline. Consistency and leaderboard rank are still on the table, and those are the ones that decide whether the price advantage means anything at all. Claim 4. DeepSeek V4 delivers consistent, reliable quality. This is the one that really matters for production work because you run the same prompt on Monday and get a great result, run it again on Wednesday, and get something sloppy, and now you can't trust anything the model outputs without a human. Checking every single response. Look at the community hands-on reports, and multiple testers called the output quality extremely inconsistent across identical runs, with the model reading as benchmark maxed, but sloppy in real-world execution. And on top of that, V4 Flash generates around 210 million tokens where the median model uses 62 million, so your real costs are 3 times higher than the sticker price suggests. This charge sticks hard. Extreme output inconsistency plus 3x token verbosity means the real costs and the real quality are both worse than advertised, and the running tally is now 1 clean pass, 1 partial, and 2 misses after 4 claims. Claim 5, DeepSeek V4 is frontier tier on public leaderboards. Number 35 on Code Arena is the data point you want to look at here, because if you're evaluating models for a serious coding pipeline, you're checking the leaderboard, and if V4 Pro isn't near the top, the frontier label in the marketing copy is doing a lot of heavy lifting. I pulled the public Code Arena rankings, and DeepSeek V4 Pro sits at number 35, well behind GLM 5.1 and Kimi K2.6, which are both cheaper or comparable Chinese models. And on SWE Bench Pro, it scores 55.4% versus Opus 4.7's 64.3% and Kimi K2.6's 58.6%, so it's trailing even the models it's supposed to be competing with directly. This charge sticks. Number 35 on Code Arena is mid-tier, not frontier, and V4 Pro trails Kimi K2.6 and Claude Opus 4.8 on every agentic coding benchmark that matters, so the final tally is one of 5 claims, fully holding up, 1 partially true, and 3 falling short. Alright, so where does DeepSeek V4 genuinely shine? The price is real. At promo rates, V4 Pro output tokens are 28.7 times cheaper than Opus 4.8, and it tops Live Code Bench at 93.5%. So for bulk code generation, classification, and high-volume pipelines where you're adding a verification layer anyway, that price gap is a serious structural advantage. And where does it fall short? 3 places, and they're not small. Output quality is extremely inconsistent across runs, which makes it unreliable for anything autonomous. It sits at number 35 on Code Arena behind models in its own price class. And V4 Flash's verbosity means your real token bill is roughly 3 times what the sticker price suggests. Worth it if you're running high-volume, cost-sensitive pipelines with a verification layer built in. Skip it if you need autonomous end-to-end reliability without a human in the loop. 1 of 5 claims held up clean, and that 1 claim, the 28.7 times price cut, is the only reason to use it. One thing the marketing doesn't mention at all. V4 Flash's verbosity is a hidden cost multiplier, full stop. At 210 million output tokens versus a 62 million median, you can hit your daily token cap mid-pipeline without any warning, and your batch job just stops. So build a hard token budget into your API calls before you deploy. If you're wondering whether the model that actually ranks at the top of those leaderboards is worth the premium, I just put out a full breakdown called Claude Opus 4.8 Still Worth Using. And it answers exactly that question with the same kind of data we ran through today. So that one's worth watching back to back with this.